Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes change your life. The love of the mind with the Rabbi, Usfartem Lachem. So we're gonna just recap what we've been saying so far. Is that essentially the main question of the Maimer is, why do we say Usfartem Lachem mimachras hashabbos? You should count for yourself from the day after Shabbos, which is really not the actual day, because the actual day, and we're going to start discussing that today. The actual day is the day after the first day of Pesach. You bring the carbon omer, and then you do the Shviras omer. So why do we say mimachras hashabbos, not mimachras Pesach? So I did not understand what's the whole concept of the Shviras omer and the carbon omer is all connected with the Nefesh Bahamas. We said that when we use Nefesh Bahamas, you reach a higher level. So, and then we said in Gimel is that has connected to Nefesh Bahamas, that the carbon omer, which is sort of connected to the Seichel Nefesh Bahamas, that only really takes one day to transform the Seichel Nefesh Bahamas, as we explained in the past. That Nefesh Bahamas' Seichel is only there to express what its emotions are, whereas the emotion of Nefesh Bahamas takes 49 days worth of work, and that's if you're working every day. So, and then we went on to explain how that works, all those details in the Nefesh Lakis, all the spheres and Nefesh Bahamas, and then we explained yesterday. So the main how it connects to Lag B'Omer, because the main place we reached this level is on Lag B'Omer, which is Hayid Shabahid. That's the day of Lag B'Omer. And what is Hayid Shabahid? Hayid Shabahid is essentially the lowest. It's like the lowest level in Kedusha, in the sense it's like this. We'll explain the mashal. It's like there's a wise person, and he's like, on the level of the Rebbe. And then there's a simple person, another person that he's wise, but he's not so wise like the Rebbe. And he doesn't really understand what the Rebbe is saying, but he can appreciate, the person has the sensitivity or the ability to recognize that there's something there. So he has the Haid. He gives recognition, he mevatels himself, and he realizes that's the right thing to do, because clearly the Rebbe knows what he's talking about. I don't really understand it, but I'll have the Haidah. But then there's a lower level, which is someone that totally doesn't even understand. You could sort of say he doesn't even understand the language. That's Haid Shabahid. That there's not even a chabad, or not even chagas, there's no intellect, no emotions, there's no connection that he has to this person in any way. Because the first person, he's wise enough, even though he doesn't understand, but he's wise enough to recognize that there's something there. Whereas the second guy, he's not even wise enough to recognize there's anything there. That's so to speak, the lowest level of Idah. But as long as you have that, you don't even have to understand it. You don't have to even connect to it. You just have to do it. Like we said yesterday, it's a Kabbalah cell. When you have that, so then you're good. But if you don't, then, like we said about someone in a kam meidim, in a kair meidim, someone doesn't matter my meidim, he has no hope. Why? What's the meidim talking about? Because the meidim has both times meidim, which is this level of Idah, meaning he doesn't even have that lowest level. That even though he doesn't understand it, and even though he doesn't have any connection to it, but he still does it. If he doesn't even have that, so then he has no hope. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, what does it mean in terms of Lag B'Omer? Is that Chassidus is this contrast, because it's specifically on this day, or Hashem Baruch Hai's day, they have this, which is on one hand, he was revealing the deepest levels of Chassidus, of the hidden parts of Torah. But on the other hand, we have this level of Hayid Shabahid, and it's really the combination of two. It's through having that bittul, and that, not taking into yourself too seriously. Meaning, in simple English, it's like this: that you have, and he says when he said over there yesterday, he says it's really Kabbalas El, and it's the El of Torah, and it's not even Chashav, the time and space. You don't take these into consideration. Meaning, when you, in order to connect, one of the biggest challenges that we have, it's like when we want to speak to someone, or we're trying to intake, is that we have our own definitions. It's like Sim Jackson says that being a chayzer, in order to give over the Rebbe's teachings, especially like on hashabbos when it's not recorded, you have to memorize it. The trick to memorizing is to not be thinking. and it's so to speak, is to have this total bittul that you don't try to understand what's being said. You're just trying to listen and intake, and then only afterwards you understand. Simon Jacobson says, Josh Jacobson says that at one time the Rebbe said a geschmack of vart, like really good vart. What did he do? So he started he was like, wow, that's a good vart. And then he caught himself and he realized like he's not intaking. His job is to intake the information, and that's a bittul. So when you do that, and this is sort of that it's not even you understand everything at that point. It's not even have like a recognition. You just totally give yourself open yourself up to receiving. So then you can achieve a lot. Whereas if everything that happens, we sort of filter it through our own life experiences and our life understanding, that's sort of where we get bogged down. It's like, unfortunately, when we say to ourselves, it's like the morning starts, or wake up late or something happens wrong, or kids get into a fight first in the morning, and then you're like, oh, my day is ruined. What essentially you're saying is you're not having that bittul or that kabbalah cell. You're making your day affected by everything else around it. Whereas here I was saying that when you have the hoid sheba'hoid, you mevat yourself, so there's nothing in the way, and then you can receive so much. Yeah, and we said then just to finish off. Yeah, so I was stuff from above. Yeah, and just a quick story that is very pertinent to this is that I read there was a guy, for his name now. Anyway, skip my mind. El Chassid, and someone came to him and told him that by the Frierdiker Rebbe, Chassidim gave up years of their life for the Frierdiker Rebbe. I don't know exactly how it came about, but basically, a ton of Chassidim, they said, we're going to give a year to the Frierdiker Rebbe. And the story goes that 30 years he received, meaning the Frierdiker Rebbe lived for 30 more years after his father passed away. And the understanding is that he was essentially meant to pass away at the same time as the Rebbe Rashab, but because of the Chassidim, every Chassid, 30 Chassidim giving a year of their life, that gave him 30 extra years. So this Chassid heard this, and so he thought about it, and he's like, you know what? And he spent a few months thinking about this, and he's like, you know what? I want to give one of my years of my life to the Rebbe. I love the Rebbe, and I care about him, and I want him to have a year of my life. So he wrote to the Rebbe about this, and he said, I'm giving you a year of my life. So the Rebbe said to him, answered back to him, he goes, thank you very much for the offer. And he said two things. He goes, this is not something we should be thinking about, like this is not our style. And he said, but more importantly, you should use every day. Every year is important, every day is important of your life, and use it out to the fullest. And he said, that's true Mesiras Nefesh. I think such a powerful message because he was saying, I want to have Mesiras Nefesh, so I want to give myself give my life to you. I never said real Mesiras Nefesh is be in the world, be in your life, and use it out to the fullest. And in a certain sense, if you think about it, it's much easier to give your life and to stay in the world and do what you need to do and make sure every day is filled to the max. And this is sort of exactly what we're talking about here with this verse Eimer, and understanding ourselves and walking on hashabbos. It's hard work, and you have to push yourself, and you have to learn yourself, and you have to understand what makes you tick, what makes you not tick, how your whole system works, and then work with them, and have the Kabbalas El, and have the Hoid Sheba'hoid and all these levels. And it's not necessarily so easy, and there's a lot easier way of doing it. You could just not pay attention to this. But the Rebbe said, if you want to have true Mesiras Nefesh, it's about working and doing all these things. After Vav, two more chapters. Vav. And this is what it means. Now answering the question, what does it mean mimachras hashabbos? The idea is like this. So the whole Seder Shtashel, the whole world works in a way in the past and present and future. And in general, is time and the order of time. But not to have this level of Usfartem Lachem, which means Lavara as called Seder Shtashel ad lamata to refine the whole world, the whole Seder Shtashel, whole, like we're doing with ourselves this verse, amen, to refine everything. The ability to do this, now how are you able to do this, to really transform the world and to really work on and refine every single detail and every single level? The ability to be able to get to that level, to do it properly, fully, is reaching above the concept of time. He's going to explain. What's time? The highest level in time is Shabbos. Because time is like a week, 7 days. So the highest of the 7 days is Shabbos. After the 6 days of the week, which is chel, which is mundane, and comes this holiness, which is Shabbos. Shabbos mekadosh kaima, it's sanctified. Nevertheless, even though Shabbos is higher than all the other days of the week, but at the end of the day, Shabbos is within time. Within the time of 7 days a week, Shabbos is the highest, but it's still in 7 days a week. Which, like it says, because for 6 days you should work. But on the 7th day, the end of the week, you should rest. Since Shabbos is still in the category of time, even though it's a holy time, and after you sort of separate yourself, the Shabbos is sort of in Kedusha. So as great as you can reach on Shabbos, it's not enough to transform the negative forces. It's about taking the 6 days of the week that you're doing good and add to it, but it's all in the category of time, so to speak. In order to have Usfartem Lachem, which is to refine yourself to the level, to this level of Haid, which he said is that simplest of levels. You don't even understand it, and you still do it. Not to how to reach that level. So you have to reach the level after Shabbos. What does that mean after Shabbos? It means because Shabbos is 7 days a week, so that after Shabbos is Sunday. So it doesn't mean after Shabbos like time-wise. It means Lamaila, I feel the meaning of Shabbos because to reach a level above Shabbos. Mimachras means like in this case we're talking about above it. Higher than the chain, than the walls. So what is he saying? So to answer the question in short, because I'm going to stop tomorrow, but to answer the question in short is, why does it say mimachras hashabbos? It's because we're not talking about a day of the week specifically, and we should have said mimachras Pesach. But we're not talking about the day of the week specifically, like which day of the month. We're talking about the level, and we're talking about a level we have to reach. It's a level above Shabbos. Mimachras hashabbos meaning above time, above space, above those limitations. But in order to transform ourselves totally, we have to reach above ourselves, to push out of the natural bounds. And tomorrow we'll explain what that means more in practical terms. Don't want to go over time. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. And any questions? Let me just turn off the recording.